Good morning. Hope you are doing well. Doing okay. I want to give it a little bit of time before we start crafting and talking. Oh no, Deb is live as well. Oh, that's not good. But I wanna make something, and I just want to chit chat as well. So, and I want to good morning, ma'am. How you doing? Can you hear me? Am I loud enough? Let's see. I had went to the grocery store. I was on the phone with my uncle, and I was like, I gotta go. So first of all, I want to share, since I think today is the 11th day of Christmas, right? And I got this from Samara. Great. Is it? Did I get louder? Let's see. I have a few things going on over here, trying to be a semi-professional. But anyway, I want to open this, share this cuteness with everyone. So, Samara, I did a video, a surprise video, a Happy Mail video, and I think tomorrow's the last day for the 12 days of Christmas. I think it is. Let's see. So the sixth. So the sixth would be the last day of Christmas. So I mean the 12 days of Christmas. So I opened them because some people can't wait. But anyway, I see a theme here, ma'am. I like the little gnome, and I love that you put a personalized note in each one of them. That is super duper cute. And then uh I like this box. I'm not sure if you made this out of your own brain. It's a tutorial. I need to figure out this because this would be great for Valentine's Day. You can cut these in, and so like February 1st, you can give your love something. So, but I see a theme here. I feel like someone is saying make some jewelry, a jewelry item. Look at these cute little dangles, some findings. And it says, on the second day of Christmas, Samara gave to me 2 silver findings. Like, this took some work, and I appreciate it so much. And I'm going to leave most of them in there. And then I'll give my little guide, day 6. Follow the tutorial. Okay, that's cool. So today, what I wanted to talk about after we open up, I guess I should have waited though, huh? And open this box up on the actual 12 days of Christmas, because I didn't get a chance to post it in the Facebook group because I wasn't feeling, my optimal best. But let's see. I love this thing. It's so cute. And that's what I want to talk about. The creative process. We're going to go ahead and go forth. Day 3, some bells. I love it. It's super cute. Super fun. When I was opening, I was like, oh, look at all this. And look at these cute little scissors and thimble sewing. Very nice. But my fingers want to act right. Day 5. Some little bells, Christmas ornaments. I call them bells, Christmas ornaments. But this is definitely hi, Nix. I don't know if I'm feeling better or not. I sound, in my opinion, worse. So I don't know. And then we got some candy. I'm going to get this to the little guy today, but I want to, leave everything in place. Hope you're doing fine, Nix. Day 7. These are really cute because I'm going to be working on a few miniature items. Love that. Day 8. I like the little bag and these little bead baubles. Let's see. 8 glass beads. This is so like thoughtful, and the time that must have went into this. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. 9. Got some bling, some roller bling, some red bling, and this would be cute, but I'm not gonna do it. But if you cut each one of these little things out, you can put on the ornaments. That'd be so cool, right? She's not doing that. And then we're gonna go to day 10 and look at these. I love these little things right here. These are super cute. And 11 and 12 I'll leave blank because we still got 2 more days to the 12 days of Christmas. So I want to talk to you all about something. I love this paper. This paper is so amazing. Oh my goodness. And what I want to talk about is creative process. Like what's your process when you're creating things? What do you think about when you're making stuff? Like when you think about something, are you thinking about the person? Are you thinking about yourself? Like what makes you want to make those things when you're crafting? I know for me, it all depends on my mental state, like my mood and how I'm feeling. Yeah, those boxes are super duper cute. How I'm feeling, what's the purpose and what's going on. I'm not prepared, just so y'all know. I am super duper not prepared. I didn't get half the stuff I was supposed to get together, but what I want to make is a box, a book in a box. But for creative process, I feel like a lot of people do a lot of different things. So I think for me, it's the process. And the reason why I'm talking about this is because Barry Craft and I were having a conversation. I picked this up from Hobby Lobby. And to be honest, I feel like this was too much money. It was $4. Now, hear me out. They sell a pack of random paper like this for $3.99 that has a crafter's, the Paper Studio brand label on there. And then you can get it when it's on sale for $2. And this was 4. But I really thought this paper was pretty. And so that's why we're doing it that way. Um, So we were talking about creativity and how and why we create different things and what's the purpose. And the one thing that we talked about is just coming up with your own ideas and what sparks that interest in that mental joy. And so we were talking about hand making things from scratch versus using die cutting machines and stuff like that. And I think it's nothing wrong with handmade or from scratch. I prefer to use all of the mediums that I have available to me and go from there. So I never really crafted like cutesy pretty because I don't think I'm a cutesy pretty crafter. I just think I'm kind of like a person that sees a project and I need to make the project, right? And then go from there. And so what we're talking about today is one of the things that I struggle with is doing a first time thing on camera. But today I want to talk about that mental process because we talked about making boxes from scratch. Exactly. Mental joy, I think, is for me, it's the most important thing because as you all know, I'm always afraid to send off my crafts to my friends. I'm afraid to send the things to the person that I actually made the thing for. And you can't be afraid to do that all the time. But I'm a big chicken. I'm working on my chickenness. And maybe the new year will be the year of no chickens, right? but I need a hard sheet of paper. Ooh, excuse the shake. Just give me one more second. And we're going to talk about boxes and measurements and stuff like that. So we're going to go with a small box, and we're going to use this paper because I already have some of it cut up. And so this is not the project that we're going to work on. I'm going to actually make a book at the end of this using that other pretty paper, in my opinion. Hi, Velez. How are you today? Hope you had a good celebration into the new year, and thank you for the encouragement. So I'm just going to pull out some yellow paper real quick. And those boxes that Samara made are a prime example of creating things. So, you know, I don't normally create in dimension. I usually do a lot of flat projects because I feel most comfortable in flat projects versus dimensional projects, because I'm always afraid that it's going to look dumb, right? Like, that's the bottom line. I think that when we create stuff, we create the things that we know we can create, and then we create the things that people push us to create. So I've ooh, paints. Congratulations. I can't wait to see what you make. That would be so cool. So, you know, I was telling her, like, when you make a box, what's the purpose of the box? Like, why are you making the box? And I tend to, you know, I write over all of my paper. I'll destroy a sheet of paper in a heartbeat, getting what I want. So we're going to use this as an example of what we're going to be housing in this box, right? So it's going to be a flat box, not a long box. So this measures 3 3/4, right? So the best way we could do that is try and center this. This is my baby pencil right here, and keep this item in the box. And I told her, and you know, when you're creating, you want to make this as simple as possible. I know a lot of crafters out there are like, we need to measure at 5 6/8 and blah blah blah. That's stressful. That is very stressful. So what we look at is, this looks like 1 inch, right? And that looks like a little bit more than 1 inch. So what we could do is we could take a 6 by 6 sheet of paper and score around the sides at 1 inch. Right. I usually like to work in inches, 1 inch, half inch, stuff like that. I don't know why I won't score 1 inch. I think this paper's off a bit. That's okay. It definitely is off a bit. So let's see. I'm not sure if you can notice it. It's off some. So we're going to try and cut this down the sides. My paper trimmer is really not happy with me lately, and I don't know why. So let's see what's going on with this paper. As you can see, it is definitely off on both sides. So this is not very encouraging to your scoring ego, but we're going to make this happen. And the reason why I want to talk about the creative process is, you know, I feel like most crafters, you lose their crafty mojo at a certain point. This is off as well. Throughout the year, we tend to say, oh, my crafty mojo is no longer here. And, you know, whatever. We can't use yellow at all because it's not cut and scored properly. But I'm trying to use this paper because I bought it. I want to use this up before I go and buy more. I haven't bought any craft supplies in the new year, I don't think. So hopefully that's a good statement. All right, 6. All right, I think this is going to work. Hopefully this works. So back to this 1 inch situation. And it's still off, but that's okay. Having crooked paper matters, especially if you're already like, oh, this is not going to work out for me. But we're just going to score it and hope for the best. So now we have this centerpiece, and you see we have this. So technically we just have a 5x5 now. So this is a 5x5 space, which we don't want that to be a 5x5 space. We want it to be a bit, we would, if this paper was cut straight, we would want it to be smaller. But for the instance of making this box, we're not, I mean, it's not a big deal. We could just put whatever 5x5, because this measures, like I said, 3 3/4 by 2 and roughly 5/8 or 3 4. So we would really want to bring, if we wanted this to fit snug in the rug, we would bring our scores down to maybe 1/2 inch, right? So we did 1/2 inch around the whole thing. We'll do that because this is just scrap paper. And this is what I do for my creative process when I'm going through the thing. I'll use up all the same scrap paper. Did I do 1/2 inch or was it a quarter? 1/2. Let's see. Is that gonna work? I think that's gonna work. And so if you are a crafter, then you know that your crafty mojo tends to go away, right? Now the problem is this is a rectangle and we're making a square. We don't want to do that, right? So the easiest, smartest way with your friend here is not doing it the smart way at all. Sometimes you can work against yourself versus with yourself. So this is where we want to score these lines, right? So that'd be 1 1/8. But I like to make my stuff even. I don't like to make crooked boxes. But in this case, this is what we're doing. And that would be 7/8. So technically, what you would want to do is make all of those, both these sides 1 1/8. But for our purpose, we're forgetting that. We're doing 1/2 inch, right? 1 1/2 inch. And this is the problem I think a lot of crafters can run into when we're following tutorials. I know, for example, myself, I would do that a lot. So I have this because we're making a simple box. We're not making a box of anything in specialness. So now that I've scored it and I have 1,000 scores, that's fine. No one's going to see these other scores unless you want them to see those other scores. We're going to cut this. And I think sometimes we get afraid. We're afraid. Now, if you want to get real fancy, you can cut this straight down the middle and put both flaps to secure each side. But we're not doing that today. We're going to keep it nice and simple for ourselves. We're just going to cut the middle. Normally I say just go around, but I'm refining that. You know, sometimes you can learn better by keeping it all the same way. And just cutting that. So for me, my creative process usually starts in the afternoon, or if I go to the store and I see something, I find that it has sparked an interest in me. And I'm like, oh, I really want to try that. Now, this is where you have to be mindful of. Do you want your flaps to be on the outside hidden? Excuse me, on the outside exposed, or on the outside, on the inside hidden? I feel like this makes your box a little bit more secure in the edges. And if you really are concerned about it, you can make a strip to cover all these sides. So that is totally up to you. We're going to go ahead and score this, burnish it down some, because we're making boxes today. And then we're going to make a little book. I need to make 2 or 3 of those books and have them complete by Friday so I can mail them out. So let's see if I can do that. And we're just going to use this glue. This is some fast drying glue. I do recommend in most cases, but since this is like a quick, we're gonna work through our mental dilemmas when it comes to creating things. I need it to be quick versus slow drying. But in general, I would recommend tacky glue, because tacky glue allows you to make a few mistakes and then adjust. Right. So we already know that our paper is cut crooked. So right here, this line is a little bit longer than it should be. And so I'm just closing this up. And here we are. I hope everyone had a good new year, a wonderful Merry Christmas. I hope you're still in season. The festivities are still going on in some places. They're still popping firecrackers here. I'm more of a non-believer of New Year traditions. As I've gotten older, I feel like it's a bit on the weird side. And I'll tell you why I feel like that. Because when we're celebrating Happy New Year, right? What's the purpose? Like, what's the real reason we're celebrating last year being gone and now we're into a new year? So happy, I do like to tell people Happy New Year. I think me telling someone Happy New Year is a little bit more meaningful than the tradition of Happy New Year. When I was younger, my mom would wake me up at midnight and we would pray. And we would pray in the new year. I don't do that. She would make a big meal. We had to have certain foods, a green food. So we had to have greens for luck, the meat, and then we have to have beans and stuff like prosperity and things like that. But I think as I've gotten a little bit older, my traditional values of certain things are not the same as they once were. So now this is where I always get kind of caught up in these boxes, right? Because this box is crooked. We already know that. But we know that this box should be five. Well, it was 5 by 5. So now it's a little less than that. It is 3 by 3. So now the question comes to, how are we going to close off our top? I have taken on a different method of closing my boxes, and I do owe you all a video as well, and I just haven't gotten it done. So remember, a couple of lives ago, I made this. This is out of my head. I wanted to really make a project like this, and I told you I would cover the lid, and I did. I went and I made more because I was like, oh yeah, I figured it out, and I thought this was so fun. So I was like, yes, we're gonna be making that. And so I made this with this box lid. And I didn't go on anyone's channel and look at any measurements. I just did it myself. And this process for me was very satisfying because I was making my quote unquote prototypes to give to people. So once I got past the prototype, once you get past your, what am I going to do with this? It makes it fun. It makes it a fun journey. And so for me, I already know that now that I have this completely figured out, I can make a good one. Even though I think this is some beautiful paper, I can make a quote unquote good one and give it to my friends, the people that I actually was inspired to make it. And so like this fits 5 A2 size cards, basic size cards. So for example, and I need to mail this thing out, it won't, you could stack a few in here like that and you'll be good to go. For me, the creative process is always more satisfying once I've created something and the person receives it and they're like, I like this. That makes me happy. But I don't like to work in dimension because I'm like, what am I supposed to do with this? What if I make a house, for example, a house, what am I going to do with that? So I always keep that in mind when I'm making things. Are my friends like that? I would have to say no, they're probably a little less like, oh, what am I going to do with this? So now the question comes, do I want to make a tight lid or not? Do I want to make a lid that's going to go over? Do I want to make a lid that's going to halfway cover this up? Like, what am I doing now? And that's where, your second measurement comes in. You can make a box the same exact way and put this on top of the box, but it's going to be a little bit more snug. So we had scored this at 1 1/2, right? So now what you want to do is go down 1. So go back 1, right? And when you do that, it should allow for your box. Again, our paper is crooked, so we're gonna work with this, and I'm gonna actually use it in an upcoming project, so I won't even be upset about it. Okay, so now when you think about it, this box would just about well enough fit inside of that, and that's what you really want. You want this to be a little bit looser. Now, if you want it to be snug and you make it the exact same measurement, which is 1 1/4, 1 1/2 versus 1 3/8 is what we could score this one down to be. And it took me a long time to figure that out. But Samara, who is a 3D queen, in my opinion, she makes a lot of 3D stuff. I feel like every time she sends me something, I'm like, how does she do that? I need to try and make this. I need to figure that out because I want, I want to be able to send my friends 3D things. I don't want to just send them a whole bunch of cards. So, like, if you've noticed, a lot of my projects that I've made in the last couple of months, the last 6 or so months, have been a little bit more dimensional because of the people that send me dimensional projects. And it also gives you a good way to get rid of some of your papers that you have. Like I always tell you, use your ugly paper for the foundation, as long as it's sturdy. And then you can cover your ugly paper up with pretty paper. And so that's always the goal for me, is I pick papers that are not that pretty and I make them work into the process. So then we just go and we repeat these steps of gluing this stuff. Now, if you want to, at this point, I would definitely recommend UR. For me, UR, because I don't follow. I'm not subscribed to a bunch of people that make a lot of projects that are 3D. So whenever you show a project, you send a project or you show one in the groups that we're in, I'm like, how'd she do that? I want to try it. And then I'll get into this whole thing of me just wanting to make something. And so I do have a project that that project, that's wrong. The project that I showed you in Very Crafty, I have to go back and refine those numbers and release them. And I got that inspiration from a Matchbox and looking at the bookcase that we had, discussed. And I find that that's great. I don't have to be exposed to everything because I have friends who are exposing me to the things. And I like that a lot. You know what? The frustration part, I think, for me, is the part that makes me want to throw the paper in the trash on the side. So I'm just going to burnish this down, cut this, trim this off. Okay. And now the truth should be in the pudding. It's too big, right? It's way too big. And this is the part that, bugs me. And I'm okay with it being too big. I'm not angry about it at all because now I have 2 box spaces and I just go back to the drawing board. And this is the process. This is my quote unquote creative process, right? So since I made it snug, we're going to go back. And this is why you have lots of scrap paper, darling. You have lots of scrap paper. So we went down, we're going to go up. And then you just remember what the heck you did, and then you're good to go. I had to bust out my big score for that. Now this is going to be too small. And we're going to score one at the right size, and we're just going to go with that one as well. And even though the paper is not trimmed properly, it is technically 6 by 6. So if it's wrong, it's the operator, not the paper in these regards. I had, that's why I use the ugly paper first, like the ugly paper that I wouldn't even send out to, anyone. I use that and I write. You see my notes when I'm like crafting and writing things. I have all kinds of crazy notes. Like this goes to that project. So I need to type this up and put it in a video so it makes more sense for everybody and not just me. But for the most part, I enjoy this part of it until I get angry. And then once I get angry, I'm like, okay, no, let's just walk away and try something else because it's not worth it at that point. And that's why I tend to, I'll pull out a coloring image or a stamps and color because you don't really want to hate the thing that you find joy in, right? Like no one is saying that it has to be perfect but you. You're the only person that's driving the perfect train. And once you get off the perfect train and you start going to some of the silly sayings that I use, like crafter straight and stuff like that, uniquely crooked, or because nothing's going to be the same no matter what, unless you're a machine, a robot, and then it'll be the same and it'll be perfect, right? But other than that, it will never be the same. You can do the same project every time. And if you ever watch Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, I watched an interview from him, and he said every show that we watched him, he sang the song live every time. It was always different. Even though as a child, you probably thought it was the same, but it was different. When he sang it, it may have had a different inflection on certain things, but he did the song every time live. It wasn't a pre-recorded anything. I miss Mr. Rogers. Although technically he should, be gone now, but I feel like he left way too soon. And I feel like, Steve from Blue's Clues was good for the next generation. We don't really have like good television role models anymore. Okay, so this is not going to fit because it's the exact same thing, right? 1/2 inch. So now we have 3 scraps of junk, right? In our head, we're like, this is stupid, right? When you're crafting, but this is the creative process. Some people go outside and get inspiration to draw and paint. Other people, you cut your paper until you get it just right. And once you figure out whatever it is that makes it just right for you, you move on. For me, when I'm doing these 3D projects, I would prefer not to waste a lot of paper. So a tutorial is always better for me. A written tutorial with good numbers will always make me smile. And then if they have a video that I can understand, it's always great. Like I need to go back and watch some of those purse tutorials, because I was supposed to make the purse tutorial that I did for the Smash That Small Paper Pad collaboration in November. But of course, whenever you tell someone I'm going to do it and then you get sick, it's kind of like, ugh, what the heck? So we got our little tabs. Now, I watch a lot of Crafters Companion videos that they have, because I like to buy their product, apparently. They sell ice to Eskimos, I swear. And I'm like, oh, I can buy that. I can gift it to somebody. I'm like, oh, I can get this and do that. I'm like, those are the people that got me onto that stupid flower foaming. It's not stupid, but, here we go. All right, so after the 4th one, I feel like this is too small on something. And if that's the case, that's fine, because it's still too something. So we have to work on those numbers, and maybe it can't be a 1/2 inch on it, right? Around the whole thing. But that's the creative process. I really hope that we would have made a whole box. But what I'll go back and do is work on it. And this box tutorial is out. I wasn't doing a box tutorial. I was just talking about our creative process. So now we have 3 sizes, right? And this one technically will fit on here if you force it, because these are the same measurements. They're technically the same measurements given the paper and score lines. It's 1/2 inch. But no one wants to have a box that you can't take out and put things in. You want to have the box a little bit loose. So anyway, that's the process. That's the creative process for my creative process. So like, say, for example, if I'm going to make, oh yeah, I like the purses. I use when I'm making those kinds of things, I always start off with the pattern paper. I always start off with the paper, and then I go from there, because the paper details who's going to get the package, who's going to get that project. unless like right now I need to start making things for people to actually purchase versus not purchasing. So I showed you the pretty paper that we're actually going to be making, and we're going to make a book, a really quick book, and then I'm going to call it a day. My throat does not hurt. I have no pain. I just sound like I swallowed a frog who was singing in the opera at the time. So I don't like hearing myself speak. But and that's why I haven't like started working on my videos, because my voice is, in my opinion, annoying right now. I just don't sound myself, and that bugs me. But you know, this too shall pass. So we're gonna make a 5 flap situation. We got 5 pages. So technically we have our front book, our front page, and we have our back page, and we should have 3 in between. Now I don't have tape here today, so this is not going to go well. I dropped something on the floor earlier, but that's okay. Oh, here it is. Here we go. Right there. So now we have 5, right? So we're just going to reinforce, and I'm not going to do a tutorial right now. We're just hanging out, chit-chatting, and laughing. Hopefully we're laughing. So for me, this creative process, I already know who this is for. And I have already decided what I want it to be themed for. It's going to be a naked book, and they can put whatever they want to put in it. I actually have to make 2. I've already made a whole bunch in the past, and I just haven't mailed them out to the people that's supposed to receive them. And in that, I've did some videos with that as well. But most of the time for me, whenever I'm crafting, my creative process is usually person oriented or goal oriented. So for this, it's a person, and the goal is to make, you know, there's no goal required because I know what I'm making. If it was a goal, my goal orientation usually refers back to a collaboration that I'm in. So for example, if I'm doing a collaboration that I need to have flowers in it, then I would pull out flowers, and that would be where the creative process starts. But in another collaboration I'm in, they actually give you the theme, and you have to go around that. So that theme in that creative process, let's say, for example, is the boots. For example, you're doing something with boots related. I would have to think about the boot. How do I want the boot to be represented? Do I want it to be like some fancy boots, and then I could take it to steampunk? Or do I want it to be like snow boots, and I could do Santa Claus? So it depends on what I'm working on. But in most of the time, if I'm working on it from a person's situation, then it's a little bit easy, I think. But like, you know, if someone says you have to use ribbon, then if like I posted on my Facebook page about ribbon, then ribbon is the focal point. And I think about all the things you can do with ribbon. So we're going to score this at 1/2 inch, every 1/2 inch. And I have so many of these prefabricated cards that I haven't had to break out any true 110 paper to make these. But if you have to break out your paper, then, you know, you make your paper the size of your card base, and you go from there. Yeah, the box. So in my opinion, boxes should not be as complicated as they are to make, because technically your lid should fit on the box, no problem. But every box that I've ever made, I end up with like 7 of these. But I'm going to use every last one of these in the upcoming project, and you'll see them. You're going to be like, oh, because that tutorial that you're going to send me the link for, I'm going to use those in there. Or maybe even pull out a cereal box lid and make this into something and have a little fold. because these are still really good. They're not bad at all. They're just box bottoms or bases. And I think it's I think it's a website that shows you how to do them lickety split. So I mean, I'm not upset. This may be the only one that we don't keep. And this is our very first one. But even this you can cover up. Like all the paper that we tend to get mad at and throw in the trash, we can salvage if we wanted to. And I think that's the whole point of sparking your creativity when you lose it. Like, a lot of people, like I'm one of those people. I lost my crafty mojo. What are the things that I do to get back? How am I getting it back? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that, one of the things is, why did you lose your crafty mojo? Was it due to life or was it due to craft? If it was something crafty, just throw that thing to the side and move on. If it's life, like, someone not being here anymore, or you're starting a new job, things like that, then that's where we have to decide on what really brings us joy when we're crafting. Are we crafting to give to our friends? Are we crafting to show off? Or are we just crafting the craft? And I tend to craft because I tend to participate in a lot of tutorials. So I have to craft the craft, and then so I end up with junk that I don't need, because if I'm in a clown tutorial where we're going to be clowning around for 12 months, what am I supposed to do with a whole bunch of clown theme stuff, a whole bunch of circus theme things? Even though I would never join a collaboration like that, because that just seems like a lot of work if you think about it. Something outside ticking. Yeah. I think that right there is good and bad, but I prefer to craft because it makes me happy more so than anything else. And I think for me, 1, 2, 3, 4. When I am creating for someone, it definitely brings me a lot more joy than when I'm not creating for someone. So if I'm just making stuff, oh, excuse me, I don't know what that noise is. When I'm just creating to create, I'm okay with that. But if someone, like, if I like the cards, like I want to make a lot of cards this year, a bunch of cards, random crazy cards, because that's what I'm going to be selling. I need to, oh, that's just horrible. Okay. That is, that has to be my focus. And if that's going to be my focus, then I need to make sure that I don't lose sight of that, if that makes any sense to you. But I want to make more 3D projects. So I already know that if I make a 3D project, I can always just put it in the mail and send it off. My problem is just getting the stuff mailed out, because I'm not going to even discuss how many boxes I have sitting here that needs to be paid for and mailed out. It's a bunch. It's like a whole bunch, a whole bunch. And I thought I would have those done by the 26th, 27th of December and get them all mailed out. And then I got sick. So we're going to hope and pray that this tape works for us. And we're just going to put T's here just so I'm not too stressed. Okay. Now, I don't really recommend this, even though it's Tombow. I am going to go and put some glue on it as well, some wet glue. So this project will need to dry. If you like hot glue, you can definitely use the hot glue. Although I never advocate for hot glue on paper projects like some people do. I don't know why. I just feel like the hot glue it gives me that false sense of security. The hot glue gives me a false sense of security because I live in a hot climate, and I know that once I leave it sitting out too long, that the glue is going to be melted from the heat. So I try not to mess around with that. So we got this, and we're just going to do this. In the same way. This is definitely my new go-to. How to create those books. I definitely love that much more than the other way that I did in the past. So one side is not sticking, and we're just going to work past that though. I ran to the grocery. I didn't run. After I dropped off the little roommate, I went to the grocery store this morning because I wanted to make turkey chops, or turkey cutlets is what the store calls them, but I just call them turkey chops because we don't eat beef or pork. So I got to get my pork chop fixed that way. And unfortunately, the store I went to didn't have it, so I'll have to do another little run. And I was debating on whether or not I actually was going to stream, come on live, because I sound, like I said, like a frog. Like I swallowed a whole frog, not half of a frog, but a whole one. But I want to have a few goals that I've set, and I can't. Unfortunately, this is going to sound bad. I can't let my current voice be the thing that stops me. I have to keep going. I have to move forward. I have to just go, and see how it works out for me. So I'm going to use some tape and glue. Oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like I sound bad. And I think the reason why is because normally when I talk, I don't feel like that vibration in my throat as much as I do now. Like I feel like it's something hindering my speech. And the reason why I'm using glue and tape is because I don't have the other tape, so I want to reinforce it as good as possible. Because normally I don't see the need in putting glue and tape down on things. But once the glue cures, it's a lot better. I'll just trim this off a little bit. I hope that everyone had a great weekend, even though, it was a holiday, and maybe you guys had yesterday off, and I hope that you had a great day off. My weekend I spent at home. We left the house for like 20 minutes of that. I really like turkey burgers, right? And I wanted to go to the restaurant and get a turkey burger. So I called them. Well, my son was being a butthead. He didn't want to put on a coat because he's hot-natured. So I was like, it's cold outside, though. And he was like, I want to wear shorts. And I'm like, okay, wear the shorts. So we open the door. Well, I open the door, he walks out, and he turns around, and he goes and put on pants. But it took a long time. So when I called to place the order, the lady was like, it's going to be an hour wait. And I was like, no, thank you. So here we go. We have our spine ready to go. And there are many other tutorials out there that show you the spine. But in our case, we're going to just do it this way. And this is from Anna Griffin. And here we go. I promise next Tuesday, we will not do a book. We're going to do some paper piecing, I think. I want to make some wreaths, but I really can't do a good wreath, in my opinion, in a live stream. So, bear with me. Bear with me, please. Yeah. Okay. This takes a lot more time than the other way. I think maybe I'll do another 3D project next week. I have to find one. Maybe, maybe we'll do a few purses, because that would be fun to do. That way I can do the purse and then I'll do a follow-up video. Because I think, well, it's not a tutorial, so, but I feel like, sometimes when you do live streams, when you're live and doing a live, people, and you're talking to people and you're reading chat and stuff, sometimes it's just easier to have a recorded video. I know I was watching another channel and they were crafting something. It was their first, they were doing it. It was like a tutorial. And I was like, and I had asked in the chat, like I had got enough nerve and asked myself, are you going to make this available offline? And I don't think they ever made it available. So, you don't have to go through and be like, hi, Veronica, how are you doing today? Blah, blah, blah. You kind of just want to get to the meat and potatoes of that project. At least I do. I know some people like that. I don't know. Oh, come on. That's why I sometimes tend to delete the lives, because I don't know. I think sometimes it's better if you feel like you're in the moment with the people. But a lot of people are like, I missed your live. I have to go back and watch it. I'm like, okay. And they're like, I can't find it. So I'm going to try to keep them up as long as I don't do nothing crazy in it. If I do something crazy, it's coming down. So this has a little bit of sticky right here. I'm just going to take my eraser and erase it. My son's eraser, I should say. So let's talk about Christmas, okay? I still have my Christmas tree up. I'm not sure about you, and I'm not ashamed to say it. We're going to take our tree down on Friday. I think for me, this year, I'm putting the Christmas tree up November 1st. And I'll tell you why. I feel like we don't get enough, like the way we do holidays, we push them so fast that you don't get a chance to enjoy the holiday. And I want to enjoy the holiday. I don't want it to be just a random day, the 25th. Okay, it's here. Open your presents. Let's throw that crap away. Eat some cake and move on. I want it to be a day of like for real joy and amazing stuff. So we're going to make the middle tab a pocket tab. Right? Okay. And now what we're going to do is raise this up. I have so many things I need to do today. Like I have a few projects that I need to get done. House-related projects, not craft projects. But I may do some videos and just have music. Oh, see, I knew it. I like leaving it up. Like we still have candy canes on it. My friend gave me an ornament for Christmas, and it has to be acquainted with all the other ornaments. My son got an ornament for Christmas. I just feel like I need to leave the tree up longer. So this year we're going to put it up like the day after Halloween. I did see a thing where this lady keeps her tree up the entire year and she decorates it in different decorations. And that's really cute. It's not cute on your pocketbook, because I think most people tend to want to add to their Christmas tree decorations. I could be wrong. Right? Because after a couple of years, I would feel like you would want to upgrade some of your ornaments. I don't know. That's just me. Yeah, I don't want to take the tree down until after the 12 days of Christmas at least. No, January 6th, then we'll do it. There's no presents under the tree, but so next year what I want to do is I want to put, but my son is getting worse with asking to open the presents, so I'm not sure we'll do this. But next year I want to put the tree up and then like I want to get all his crap ahead of time. I normally do that anyway, like buy all of their stuff way ahead of time. Like say if I go to the store today and they have like something that's on clearance or on sale that's something that my son likes, like say if they have a train shirt or something like that, I can get in a larger size and keep it. So that's how I normally shop for Christmas. But this year, I'm gonna stick to it because last year I didn't do it. But this year, I'm only gonna buy him like one big toy, and the rest will be like $2 or $3 toys or $4 or $5 toys. But I only want to get him like a total of 10 things. So we have to see where that goes. Because the big room is like you know, he has too much stuff, and then I'm like, oh, okay, what do you think? He's like, we need to buy him some more stuff. And I'm like, all right, so here's our book. And I like that, you know, once we get this thing down, we can manipulate the cover some and make it go back and forth. And there we go. So yeah, I don't know if I agree or disagree with taking your Christmas tree down the day after Christmas. I just think that's too soon, but some people do. I think a few years when my mom would put the tree up, we would take it down earlier, you know, like the 26th, 27th. But I feel like it's a lot of work to put Christmas trees up, for one. And I enjoy doing it with my son because he gets so much joy in it. So I definitely want to keep it up longer, like every day, because we only kept it up. We put our tree up like on the 13th of December. Yeah, like the 13th or 14th of December. And every day he was like, Mom, the tree is so beautiful. It's so this, it's so that. And not that our tree looks a mess, honestly. It's a cheapo fake tree. But the joy that he got from the tree makes it just that much more exciting. That the tree is still up. Like he still looks at it. He's like, can I have a candy cane? Blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, have all of them. I used to my best friend and I, the tree would be so freaking decked out, all the tinsel and stuff. Now it's pretty plain. It just has a tree and ornaments. And my tree topper is a snowman hat situation. But I'm gonna cut this paper open. And you know what happens when she opens up a paper pack, right? Lots of scraps are created. I just want to see how much they duped me out of. I mean, it was $4, but let's see. But when you think about it, if you're buying each one of these sheets individually for 50 cents or 60 cents, right? Because they took that 4 for $1 thing back. But, you know, oh, yes, this is going to be great. So I like this so much. So we got some, oh. So we're going to use this sheet. Oh, we get the flower mother load. I'll tell you that. I think we can use, I like this sheet a lot. This is really pretty. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I enjoy having a tree up. It doesn't smell like pine or anything like that. And I think because I don't have, like, my whole family isn't here anymore, I just feel like that just is another reason to leave the tree up a little bit longer. This is pretty, but we're going to do some other stuff with that one. Let's see, I like this one. Yeah. And especially since, you know, I'm the person that's putting the tree up and taking it down. Who's going to tell me to take the tree down early? Nobody. No one's going to say that to me. This is definitely a directional print, and we can't use that one. I like this one as well. Oh, my goodness. This is definitely someone did a great job of putting this paper together. Huh. We'll have to put that one to the side and see. Oh, I like this one. Yeah. Lots of beautiful paper. So it's definitely worth the $4. Although for $2, I would have been a lot more happier. I'm just saying. All right. So now we have all this paper, and we can make cards and whatnot. I really need to invest in some double-sided printed paper. So I'm gonna have to look at the Stampin' Up stuff and see what they got going on. That's pretty to me. All right, so I think what I want to do is I wanted this to be the cover, but now I want this to be the cover of the paper of the book, so we can have this as our cover. Right, so we got that one, and then we can go into this because it's still like this greeny blue thing. Okay, so we got that. Then we have this, just 1, 2, 3. So let's see. I'm gonna do one more because I think that's how many we need. And I think we'll do that one. So we're gonna have a repeating book. It won't be a bunch of different pages. We're gonna just have it all repeating. So now the goal is not to rip this paper with this paper trimmer. And then we will call it a day, I think. I'm gonna decorate it offline. Maybe we'll see. We'll see. So I'm just cleaning off the tray. Now I like to cut my papers all ahead of time because it just makes it a little bit easier. And since this is 8.5 by 11, what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it 7 inches. So we're gonna go here. You know, I do want to say that if you take your tree down the day after Christmas, or some people take their tree down the day of Christmas at the end all over, that's fine. It's, you know, whatever makes you happy. If that makes you happy, then that makes you happy. I just, I want to leave it up. And plus, I don't like taking it down. When I worked, I would be like a part of the decorating, holiday, whatever. I'm like, I'm not taking this down. I'll put the crap up. I'll go to shopping and get everything, but someone else is going to take this thing down. All right. So we have this, and this is how it's going to look. You know, I was in H-E-B. It's a store that I go to, the grocery store I went to this morning. And I was watching a streamer the other day, and they played Eddie Murphy's song Party All the Time. And I was like, wow. And they actually played that today. So I need to tell her that. I was like, they played Eddie Murphy today. It's crazy. When he was when he was releasing albums, music albums, not comedic albums. So anyone have any? Oh, that's good then. You'll start leaving up longer. That's good. I know it can be hard. Did I do that right? I think so. I definitely understand that. Stop playing and go to 5, please. Thank you. You know, last year we didn't put up a tree. But I was like, you know, my husband is anti-Christmas, anti-anything fun. And I told him, you can't be like that. You have to pretend like everything's great because you have a 6-year-old who likes holidays, who likes doing the fun stuff. And we can't be the party poopers. You know, you don't want people raining on your parade. So I told him, and you know, last year for Christmas, my husband was horrible with the Christmas presents, right? I told him, I said, next Christmas, I'm not buying anything for myself. So for Christmas, I got everything I wanted because I went out and got it myself. But this year, I'm not letting him make it like that. He's going to have to go out and look for stuff. But I'll probably just give him a list of stuff that I would like, and then he can pick off that list. Like I got him this little back support thing when he's driving. He's like, I don't know how you know I needed this. I was like, because I know these things. I really didn't know if he's going to like it or not, but I'm glad he did. Because, you like to see, I think, the joy of giving is because you get to see the twinkle in their eye. They're like, oh, wow, I love this so much. And when you give gifts to people like, oh, wah, 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 you're like, no, you didn't like it. Oh, that's not good. I was trying to semi-convince him to get an Oculus. It's a new video game, a VR, virtual reality video game. Because he was like, I don't know what I want for Christmas. I was like, you should get that. And he was like, no, I don't want that, blah, blah, blah. I was like, no, you should get it. But now I think, maybe we can get one for the house because it looks really cool. Some of those things look really, really fun to do. But I don't know because I don't know about I don't know about the games and all that stuff. So we'll see. But maybe one that just like a workout one. And I could, work on some of this adipose tissue I got. Like, I had said before, I don't set New Year's resolutions. So I didn't say, oh, I want to lose, these all the COVID weight or whatever that I gained. But I do have craft goals. I want to definitely craft more. I want to make more 3D projects. Like I already told y'all that. Yes, that thing looks amazingly fun. Like I might have to get one. My friend was telling me about a game called Beat Saver. I can't stay on Beat to save my life, so I'm not sure who we're going to be saving in that aspect. But it would be cool to do, like very cool in my opinion, to try it out and see. Now, we're going to go ahead and cheat the system. I don't think I'm going to put... I don't know. I don't know if I want to cover up the spine. I think what I want to do is something goofy and put some flowers here. Not goofy in a bad way, just different, right? So if I took flowers, let's just say, for example, I put my flowers around the edges, like some Dollar Tree flowers or whatever, and just put those on the edge. I think that's what I want to do. So we're going to leave the spine kind of raw. And open. And now it's time to bust out some Aleene's tacky glue because you know how she feel about having to rip paper up. So let's see, we got this. I had tried to convince him so hard to get one too. He was like, no, I don't want it. I'm like, okay. But I think I might actually have to just go ahead and buy it and be like that. But I don't like, this is going to sound so cheap. I don't like making those kind of purchases unless I really, 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 really want it. Right. So for example, if I really, really want something, I'll go ahead and buy it. But like it's even though it's only $300, when I looked at it was only $300 and only like that makes me sound some kind of way. But I don't know if I would really want to invest in that kind of thing because I don't want it to sit up like all the other games, the gaming systems that we have, and go unused. But I feel like even the little guy could play on it, So we just slid that down some. And we're going to use our thing. I have been trying not to spend a lot of money on new craft tools because I was looking at something. I was like, oh, I really need these paintbrushes. And I have a butt ton of paintbrushes. Butt ton. And I haven't been painting anything. right? Do you know, Samara, if you can play that game with friends? Like, do they watch you from across the way? Because that would be cool. That would be super duper cool to be able to watch your friends play it. Or can you only see them in real life looking crazy? Um, I had told the big roommate that I wanted to get one, and he was like, well, I asked him if he wanted to get one, and then he showed me a picture. He sent me a link of somebody punching a little kid out. They were boxing. The person was boxing. I was like, oh, that's not good. I could see me doing that, like knocking and hitting something. So you have to make sure you have good space. All right, so now let's go ahead and make our repeat real quick, and we'll be moving on. I want this to be the center piece. So this is going to be page 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4. That was easy, right? Yeah, because if you have friends that have it, and you can like link up, and you can see them looking goofy, and they can see you looking goofy. I'm gonna have to look into it. I really I'm really liking more group gameplay, but not super hard group gameplay, or even like 2 people. So like, I'm not sure if you've heard of like Elder Scrolls Online and Fallout 76 and a bunch of other games. I had got those games, and a few of my friends play. Well, I got Elder Scrolls Online in 2019, and that was like my addiction for all of 19, and it definitely helped me get through 2020. I met a lot of wonderful people in 19, and then some of the people that I met in 19 when the lockdowns and stuff happened, schools were different and people had to do different things. Some of them never returned back to the community, and that kind of made me sad. But life happens. Some crafters quit crafting, they sell all their crap and they go out and they do gardening. Some people go from gardening to boating and woodworking. So as long as we're evolving and into better beings, I don't see a problem with it. But a lot of my people that I call like friend, I've met through YouTube and video gaming, so it's fun. I enjoy the game, but I'm thinking I'm going to talk to the big roommate about getting a game called Red Dead Redemption on the PlayStation, because I think only if you can link up and I can play and harass Bear Crafty on there. I watched a few gameplays of that on the computer version. In some games, I would prefer to play alone, just because my in shooting games, my aim is horrible, and I don't want people laughing at me for that. But like the virtual gaming, oh, that would be so cool, so cool. Look like we cut down all the papers the same. We got that Paper Studio logo. I went to Hobby Lobby Friday, and did I buy anything? I did. I bought some things to make some chunky charms. So I don't think I said this, but last year I was like, I'm gonna try to make a chunky charm a month, right? But I am really going to attempt to do more of those, and I can't promise that I'm gonna make a whole bunch of videos of like process step-by-step videos, because not everybody likes those videos. But I feel like this is just me, what I'm about to say, it doesn't affect the craft community or whatever. I feel like when you have new subscribers and new people coming to your channel, sometimes it's better to do an updated video of a previous work. It just makes it easier for those people to get to it, and then it can go back and see how you've evolved from one form of bookmaking. Because I don't do it that often, but I'll still make a flip book with some envelopes. So, like, even with this, I want to do one of those like never ending cards where you put a whole bunch of cards together and you just have the cards flipping in all kinds of motion and stuff like that. That'd be really cool. And I still have to do that interactive card that you asked me about. I haven't found a good simple following tutorial, I should say. So just I need this here. Yeah, it's I don't know why you don't play video games, and I'm not trying to convince you to play video games, but once you start playing video games, you're like, oh, I'm in a different world. I feel like it's a different aspect of relaxation for me when I play certain games. It just means, but I've been a gamer for forever. Like, I've been a gamer. Like I said, my YouTube channel started off as a gaming channel, so. And I was just like, no, I'm not going to do this. And then Pocket Letters hit the scene. And I was like, oh, I'm going to, because, I was always buying craft supplies, just never using them. And now the goal is to use more craft supplies than I waste and buy. So we're gonna work on that. I think I'm just going to get a box of stuff that I'm going to try to use every month. No matter what the project is, I'm going to just try to get a box. And it's not going to be a huge box because I'm not going to set myself up for failure. Because I feel like the minute we start putting those types of limits on what you're doing, you pigeonhole yourself right back into the whole, my creative process is gone. I can't figure out how to do this, or I can't do that. And everybody's creative process definitely looks different. And again, so some people craft during the holidays, only for holidays. So maybe people may start crafting for Christmas stuff in October. Because I definitely feel like, as a crafter, if you're not crafting Christmas stuff in September and October, you miss the craft party. Like, the crafting Christmas party has left the train, especially if you want to make more than one thing for more than one person. So, I'm there. But I feel like instead of me holding on to projects, I need to just mail the things out as I make them, because it doesn't matter if the box, in my opinion, if you send someone a ginormous box or a little tiny box, it's a thought that counts. So on my end, it looks like I'm thoughtless and careless of my friends in my crafty world, because I haven't sent anything out when I have boxes and boxes of stuff just sitting there that needs to be sorted through and mailed out. And it's not even the handmade stuff that I've made for them. It's all things that I thought that they would like from the store. And that's a weird position to be in, to want to do certain things, and then you get sick, or you lose that thing that sparks the joy in you that makes you want to do things. But nonetheless, I think I'm going to do this. Is this the last page? Oh no, I was going to say, no, this can't be the last page. What's really going on? All right, yeah, we got that. So just burnishing this stuff down, trying to catch the ooze before it oozes everywhere. Has that, like that air in there. It's going to push the stuff out. You remember back in the day, if you bought a computer, it had like the speakers and everything. Now you buy a computer, you're just getting a monitor. Like if you buy a monitor that doesn't have speakers to it, that is me right now. I bought a computer and a monitor, set up the monitor and a computer. I can't hear no sound because I have no speakers connected to the thing. And I feel like I understand that it makes more sense to use your own speaker setup because sometimes the speakers in the computers are like crap. But you running out of, in my opinion, you run out of spaces to plug all it in because not all speakers are pointy plugs. Some of them are um, USB. Hi, Lou. How are you today? Hopefully well. Hopefully your Tuesday's going great. And are you all having tacos today? Because it is Taco Tuesday. And I think I will indulge myself in some tacos today. Now I just screwed up. I meant to put a ribbon around here and make it a book with a ribbon on it. But you know what? I messed it up. And that's okay. We'll learn. We'll have all the ribbon that we need next time for the other book. I need to make another one of these. Actually, I think the other one I'll make is a junk journal. Junk journal. A mini, like, little small junk journal. Because I want to do some lamination. I went to Michael's looking for Christmas presents, right? And Michael's had a big pack of laminated paper on clearance for $13, I believe. It was a really good deal, I thought. So I got it. I got this paper from Hobby Lobby in a paper pack. And I am definitely enjoying the flowers like you are. I'm not into flowers, but my friends are. So it makes me into flowers, right? Like, have you ever thought about that? Like, you buy things, like, say if your cousin, your favorite cousin, they're into black shirts. So you tend to buy a bunch of black shirts for them. But people think that you're into black shirts. And you're really not. You may be into purple shirts. I don't know. Okay. So we have that right there. This is our book. I'm going to go back and glue some flowers on here. Maybe some lace. You know, I'm in that kind of lace hide the spine situation. So maybe I'll do the lace instead. I don't know. Some kind of fringe will go on here. And let's see if she did this right. All right, yeah. Because I want this to be in the middle because I want to make some tags. Just some plain tags. And cover them up with these strips of paper that we have right here. And put that in. So that is that for now. I'm going to make some pockets. I saw online someone, thank you so much, had pockets. And I want to try to do a few of those pockets. So I think what I'll do is I'll make some tags and pocket videos coming up. Oh, excuse that noise. So this is our little book. I got this. A lot of people make these albums, but I got this process from Anna Griffin in a die, and I just turned it into a handmade version because the die, in my opinion, doesn't cut out that great for me. Maybe I just need a better die cutting machine, but I won't be buying any more of those for a while until the ones I have kind of clunk out. So we did this little book. I am going to be ending very soon. I do want to say thank you all for hanging out with me. I have a lot of stuff in mind that we're going to be doing this year. So hopefully you have your craft supplies out when we craft. I will be doing Tuesday lives until I can't, unless it's a holiday. Because a holiday I can't do it because the little guy will be home with me. But next Tuesday I plan on being back here, and at 9:00 we'll be starting up. And if you have any suggestion on what you would like to see me make next week, or anytime. Leave it in the comment section or send me an email or contact me on the Facebook group. So I do appreciate you spending your time with me today. It means a bunch. And until next time, happy crafting.